She brought medieval Paris a fresh wind of Renaissance from sunny Florence. She patronized artists and astrologers. She gave birth to 10 children for the French crown. But thanks to various historical novels, Catherine de Medici, the Queen of France, is known as an insidious poisoner, who with ease removed everybody who happened to be on her way to the power. Catherine de Medici, the heiress of ancient Florentine family, was born in April 1519. Few weeks after her birth, her parents died of an unknown disease, and the girl became an orphan. When Catherine grew up, her uncle Pope Clement VII took her under his protection. She was married when she was only 14 years old to Henri of Orléans, son of King Francis I of France. The Dauphin was only 4 months older than his young wife, but nobody cared of age of the married couple, and, all the more, of their feelings, as the marriage was dynastic. Unexpectedly, Catherine fell in love with her husband with all the ardor of a young Italian girl. Henri was attractive and differed by his knight gallantry. However, her love was unrequited. The beauty Diane de Poitiers undividedly laid hold on the heart of the Dauphin. The lady of his heart was almost 20 years older than her beloved, but difference in age was likely of no importance for Henri. He never parted with his favorite till the end of his life, and Catherine was forced to patiently take the liaison abusive for her. During the long years of humiliations, she learned to be secretive, patient, and polite, and gradually she grew into the pitiless, prudent, and insidious woman who was depicted by Dumas in his novels. Catherine was persistently approaching her aim, crown of France. And on this way, nothing could stop her, even crime. She was notorious for being a poisoner. Nobody would know for certain to what extent these suppositions are true, but there were rumors at the court that Catherine thoroughly studied the art of poisoning and made experiments with poor and incurable people. In 1547, King Francis I of France suddenly died. Many historians consider that his death was masterminded by Medici, although the official version has it that the monarch died of pneumonia. Catherine's husband Henri became the king, and she became the queen. However, power, which she had yearned for, was still slipping out from her hands, because hateful Diane de Poitiers was as yet the first lady at the court of the King of France. 12 years later, King Henri II tragically perished during the Knights Tournament, and Francis II, Catherine's son, came to the throne. Although he was an obedient son and did not aspire too much to rule the country, the Queen again was out of reckoning, because the Guise family had the most influence at the court of her son. And only after Francis died and Catherine became a regent of the 10-year-old King Charles did her dream of power become a reality. Catherine retained power with all her might, maneuvering different political groups and refusing to grant priority to any of them. Her main weapon was intrigue. The Queen created an espionage network that spied for all noticeable political figures and eavesdropped their private letters. Catherine, the ruler of the country that was torn apart by religious wars, was quite indifferent to religion, but absolutely not to power. During the initial years of her regency, she tried to establish peace between Catholics and Protestants, and in 1570, she insisted on signing the Peace of Saint-Germain-en-Laye. But when the young King Charles IX appeared under the strong influence of Huguenin de Coligny, the Queen allowed Catholics, headed by the Duc de Guise, to turn swords against Protestants. On August 24, 1572, at about 3 o'clock in the morning, the Admiral de Coligny was killed. Immediately after this, an alarm bell sounded, and the enraged Parisians rushed into the houses of the Huguenots. During the night, which later was called the Massacre of St. Bartholomew, more than 2,000 Protestants were killed in Paris by approbation of the king. Few thousands more perished in other provinces of France. According to eyewitnesses, the king himself, being in a frenzy, shot at people from the window of the Louvre. Few days later, he sent letters to the provinces and to other countries explaining that a grandiose Huguenot plot had been disclosed in Paris. 2 years after the awful massacre of St. Bartholomew, King Karl died. According to one of the versions, his untimely death was caused by a disease. And according to Dumas, Catherine poisoned him by accident. A book impregnated with poison was meant for Henri of Navarre, but occasionally the king became its victim. Henri III, one more Catherine de Médicis' son and the last king of Valois dynasty, came to power. Henri III had no successors, and the youngest son of Catherine died in 1584. The last years of the Queen were not easy. The country was ruined and exhausted by religious wars. On January 5, 1589, she died. Catherine de Médicis is giving us no peace and charming us for 400 years. She takes top place in our mythology due to her deeds and character traits, which are high-colored by fantasy of many generations. These are words from the latest version of her biography.